Why is it so difficult to say no? This issue pops up week after week and has done so for 20 years in my coaching work. You'd imagine saying no would be easy. After all, when you say no, you don't have to do anything, usually. You don't have to spend time, or you don't have to spend money, or you don't have to do work. And yet, amazingly, for so many people, there's a real difficulty in saying no. Sometimes the reason is fairly obvious, fear of the consequences of saying no to the boss, for example, or trying to ingratiate oneself with the client, so saying yes to everything. Sure, there are times the explanation is pretty obvious. But if I look at my own life, that only goes part way to explaining the issue. Sure, there are times when I'm trying to win approval or trying to live up to expectations. But actually, when I reflect on it, usually that's my expectations of myself. Yes, we're back to self-esteem again. In other words, I say yes to things because I want to be the person who, can help out there, or I want to be the person who contributes to that cause, or I want to be the person who is available, or whatever the explanation might be. It's very often our expectations of ourselves that make it hard to say no. So in my coaching work, I work with people to try to understand not just the obvious surface level reasons, but to kind of dig into what's going on in terms of our own expectations of ourselves. And that's where self-worth is really valuable, because with self-worth, you don't have to prove anything. You already have it. That's the whole point. If somebody is telling you you have to do something in order to build self-worth, well, by definition, they're talking about self-esteem, not self-worth. Self-worth is that unconditional loyalty to yourself, even when you're not living up to those expectations. So if you are yourself struggling with saying no, or you're working with people who are struggling to say no, perhaps help them to identify what are those expectations of themselves that are coming into play. And maybe that's a gateway through which they can begin to deepen their loyalty and friendship with themselves.